the most important thing is profitability. So what you need to do is you have to create a mechanism to track the profitability.
A digital marketer that needs to be used marketing mix modeling, multi-touch attribution, and incrementality.
Let me ask you a question. What is the most important element of performance marketing? You may have different answers, but we cannot forget the measurement framework. Welcome to Performance Spot by APIDM. Today we are going to discuss about different models when it comes to digital marketing measurement. So we have marketing mix model and also multi-touch attribution, incrementality, right? Different models, and today we have the best person to discuss everything because I believe his strongest area is analytics, right?
Yes.
So Jatu, let's start with, I think, what's the marketing mix model, right? So
Yeah.
let's start with I mean, we cannot divide it, but let's start with the basics, the
Okay. What
definitions
is it?
and everything. Yeah. So then the audience will know
Right.
the exact meaning of everything. Yeah.
Okay. So we so as you started performance marketing, measurements are becoming critical and harder, and then companies expect these measurements to be accurate as possible. So
Yeah.
to making multiple decisions on budgets, strategies, growth, um, where they are going, these all things are aligned with the position of measurement. So I think 7-8 months back, we did on APIDM, we did like a workshop, not workshop, event, performance event on our performance.
Kind of a meetup.
Yeah, meetup. So we did, I did a presentation called Future of Measurements. So these all connect back to a single point called marketing science, where this performance side of it, digital marketing side of it are moving on. So why this performance marketers or the digital marketers are struggling is one of the key areas, or is harder to measure due to technology blocking, privacy concerns. Users are getting aware about it. What else I used to call GDPR. All these are the reasons, and then most importantly, platform wars. Platforms try to take credit for it. So when you advertise on Meta and Google, and those two try to show more conversions, ROAS, on their platforms, and then our decisions become like one-sided. We will make a decision, okay, Meta is working good. This is what happening on most of the businesses, most of the e-commerce, lead generation. It's hard, like, because platform war is one of the reason. The last couple of weeks ago, I was looking at TikTok. One of my friends' e-commerce site in UK, they were running TikTok campaigns with user-generated content, and they had a huge impact on the TikTok videos sales campaign. They have connected their shopping pixel and all. It's showing a great positive side of it. But when I really looked into the analytics side of it, whether that's actually caused it, but it's actually view through conversions and views, and all those things have been taken credit. So where the problem comes, when the problem comes making decision on which channel works or what works, which is working, where I have to invest, these kind of question comes only the measurement comes critical. On that place only, we were like, up to last 5-6 years, most of the digital marketers were aware about multi-touch attribution. So attribution is in a simple terminology, if I wanted to explain, who gets credit, right? Who gets credit, different marketing touch points before your conversion. It can be leads, it can be purchase, or it can be add to cart. Which marketing channel gets the credit is the question. So we have been following up with last click attribution, first click attribution, data driven attribution, linear attribution,
time decay.
Yeah, so it's up to you. And then custom attribution in a time of 2018-19, there were time people try to build their own attribution, right? And then I would say data driven attribution is one of the coolest, but again it's also now becoming blind because of the privacy, cookie blocking and all those things. Even we go for server side tracking, if the person is using iOS and all, there are still block for measurements is still there. So I was talking about this attribution. People who are trying to understand in a football ground, if a team is playing a game, one side is defense, one side is attackers, so one side wanted to get a goal, right? So for the one who's gonna get the credit for the scoring the goal, whether it's a person who have shooted the goal or whether the person have grabbed the ball from the defense, or who's gonna get the credit is the question that normally started. There are different ways. Basketball, in the internet you can find examples how these attributions are explained. So data driven is mostly commonly used, and GFO is the one that most of us are believing it. But again, it's also one-sided, which GFO doesn't know what happened on Meta's video view campaigns, right? So right now the import data they are try to bridge the gap of GFO is trying to bridge the gap on the attribution. So this is where this multi-touch attribution comes on. On today's topic, we were talking about M marketing mix modeling, multi-touch attribution, and the incrementality testing, or whatever it is we call it, right? So multi-touch attribution is the first one. I just like to explain what is it. A simple answer: who gets credit for the marketing activity, and data driven is one of the things that we have to follow and believe. But again, there are positive side of attribution modelings and pros and cons. So you need to balance and make a decision, right? And data driven, how it is being calculated is based on the machine's learnings and understanding. Machine gives credit to different touch points to the conversion that have been happened. Maybe sometimes 4 or 5 touch points happen. A person coming from search, and then YouTube ad, then TikTok ad, then Instagram ad, then a YouTube video, influencer video, all these places are touching up, and then a person purchase it. So this most probably GFO or any other analytics tool will able to understanding the machine learnings, and it gives credit for each of it. And that's what you normally see sometimes, the decimal numbers on the conversions on each channels on each platform. This is where this multi-touch attribution comes in. So I was talking about earlier, not couple of months, 8-9 months back, I was doing a meetup, right? So on there I was talking about how these 3 marketing mix modeling, multi-touch attribution, and incrementality is a digital marketer, performance marketer needs to be used is like a sports team coach, or I took an example of 2007 cricket team, Sri Lankan cricket team, which is one of the strongest cricket team that Sri Lanka had, from my point of view. Some say 96, but it have the lineup of different mix and modeling, different marketing channels. I call it in a way, so the firing startup, and then the middle order with Sangha and Mahela, then finishing up with Dilshan and a few other people, and then same way you have the Lasit Malinga and death overs and strategic bowling by Vas, and the spinner Murali, and all these different marketing individual performers, individual expertise was there. So similar to individual platforms but the coach work is identifying which combination works for my end goal win. So that's where these 3 are important. So where to give credit when a win happen, whom to give credit, or whether it needs to be balanced. I took an example of I remember with Ireland, there was a game happened just on the group stage. So I think 87 for all out Ireland. So and then the last run was hit by Mahela, 4 runs or something. And then if you are a non if you are not looking at credit, you give the last run who get the 4 runs, right? And then you forget the effort of the credit. You forgot to give the credit to the bowlers who have bowled them out. I think Vas got 6 wickets, something 27 runs or something, which is the key goal for the winning moment. Might be wrong on the numbers, but Ireland game is one of the examples. And then same way with the New Zealand, Mahela scores 113 or something, and then took the man of the match. On that place, Mahela needs to give in a credit, which is the semi-finals. Very strong team on knockout stages, New Zealand, and then everyone knows how New Zealand is strong. They couldn't able to make finals. It's a different story, but they are one of the strongest from, I would say, from 92 to up to until the World Cup happened. They were last World Cup. They are the one of the strongest. So that man of the match on the 2007 World Cup is on the semi-final is the reason that Sri Lanka went to final. So that place it needs to be. So where to give credit is attribution that a coach needs to understand. Then we comes to marketing mix modeling. In a simple explanation, look at overall performance of the team and estimate how much each player contributed to the win.
Yeah.
Here, the marketing mix modeling, why it came into play is so in a bigger industry, bigger companies and all, they do hoarding ads, TV ads, radio ads, and then they do digital. So where they forgot to measure the traditional, everything was credited to the online. So this marketing mix model come into play. I think I'm not sure about the year, but it was there from a lot of years. The big agencies play this, measure these things, and bigger brands play this measurement because it's very important to make a decision whether I need to invest on online, whether traditional, which TV or paper or radio or banner hoardings or whatever it is, and then on the online, which channels needs to be invested is one of the questions for bigger brands, not on a small e-commerce stage.
Yeah.
Bigger e-commerce from Nike to Coca-Cola to these players, bigger impact they measure on marketing mix modeling. So they need input from TV and then they make a measurement. This marketing model is not only about traditional and TV. It's also understand the seasonality and economics, what's happening
basically,
around.
Rather than identifying individual users measurement, just as a channel, right? So channel comparison.
Yeah.
All
Say
right.
let's say April. Say let's say a brand that in Sri Lanka, or let's take a brand in international wise on the year end, Black Friday and Christmas, all these things are happening. So they normally they start from October, November, December, right? The bigger season for sales in the international market, right? So they should able to know when the seasonality start, which channels they have to put money on October, which channels they have to put money on November, which channel on Christmas, and then after Christmas, January to continue the sales, what are the channels, where are these marketing channels, how much effort or performance estimate, how much each marketing channel makes. Similar to that, it's easy to explain me on this 2007 Cricket World Cup team because it have the mix and model, right? So what happens is you identify whether the pitch plays the role for Murali to turn or for Vas to swing in swing out, swing bowling, whether the pitch played or the flat pitch play the batting performance well, is coach duty to understand what combination needs to go on a match, on a semi-final, on a quarter-final. These are the things that marketing. Who drove the business growth who draws the ultimate end goal of win is the marketing mix modeling
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Jatu, one thing to add, I really love the example you took, because rather than like, these concepts, because of the technical words, advertisers, managers, they think something like rocket science, right?
Yeah.
It's not actually, right?
Yeah.
Probably you cannot measure everything with the limitations of the
Yeah.
different markets. We have different limitations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cannot directly link your TV
Data.
advertisement, the results and everything to the digital platforms. Maybe developed markets, they have that ability, but different markets, right? It's completely depending on the market, but still you can work on this, because these things are not too complex things. You have to implement it, you have to create the model inside your organization, and then start measuring things, right? So the thing is, because of these technical words, Jatu, so it's really
Yeah.
important you bring up, I mean, that example here, right? So the concept wise, these things are not something like magic, right?
Yeah.
But you can still work on with your current capacity, with your current infrastructure, you can implement something accordingly.
Yeah. So for this marketing mix modeling, there is an open source called Meridian from Google.
Meridian, exactly.
So you can download it, and now with LLM's help, you can build it on your own. It's about analyze the sales trend and estimate how each channel's contributed to revenue. This is what this marketing mix modeling end results is gonna give. And on last week we discussed about Google Analytics. Inside the Google Analytics 360, this Meridian is coming in. So sooner or later, I think it will be coming into the free as well.
Yeah, it's in the developer side,
Yeah,
right?
developer. This thing, it's on 360 only. It's not coming to the free version. So, but I feel it will be soon coming in. For a person who is interested in marketing science and all, I would say just understand this. I would say first, before coming into marketing mix modeling and all, the basic is marketing science needs to be understand correlations, medians and all these
The
marketing
patterns
science
and everything.
that will help you to implement these and understand with your data and all. Bit of a science, bit of a development, bit of a technology needs to be there. But today's with an LLM's helps and all, I don't think it's not going to be a hectic work or hard work to do. So try it out, learn it first from the basics, and then from there implemented it. And the last one we have to discuss is the incrementality, right? So this is one of the key element on most of the companies. What happens is I had an example where I won't name out the years. If you name out the years, then you can go and check my where I worked. So there was a situation, a CFO said to me on a meeting, say, whether you advertise or not, we are getting sales, right? So this is where this incrementality testing comes into play. Before going into that CFO situation, I would like to explain it in a simple way. So incrementality measure whether the marketing activity created additional sales that would not have happened otherwise. Say whether you advertise or not, sales will happen. This is the statement from the CFO. And then if you advertise, there will be a 200 increase. So that's the measurement of incrementality test that is what the terminology is simply explained. So in a normal example, you walk around on a road and then you see a fertilizer advertising saying that if you put that fertilizer to a crop or tree that you have, you will double your harvest. This is a line that they have put it up on this thing. So you look at it but you have a doubt whether it works or not. So what you do is you get that fertilizer, and then you might have two trees, or you have a farm area with two different squares or two areas. One, you do whatever you are doing, and another, so you will water and everything you do for that tree or that area, right? So for one area you apply, say for a 1 square meter or 2 square meter or 100 square meter, or for one tree you apply that filter with other things, watering, sunlight, everything, and then the rest other one you don't apply the fertilizer. End of the end of the end of the harvest, if you have a more harvest on this side, let's say you get here 100 apples on a tree you harvest, and here you get 150. That 50 is your incrementality because of your effort that you put on the fertilizer. Right? You can't do anything beyond that. So this is what happened. You normally when I say you need to advertise for brand keywords, why? The question comes is, no, we are ranking for brand keywords, we don't need to advertise, people knows us, they will buy it, right? So this is where this incrementality testing needs to happen. Or one of the examples where you might be, sometimes you might do a demand gen campaign. So by doing a demand gen campaign, whether you have a, so I think right now, as I remember, inside Google Ads, there is a incrementality testing available where you can do it. Meta, I'm not sure whether it's in there. TikToks, I read somewhere it's there, the incrementality testing. So how this overall, so what is going to happen is on a cricket field, we need to, harvest part is different. So I was about 2007 World Cup, right? How this things is applied on a cricket, on a 2007 World Cup. If a coach is wanted to make sure that Murali is impacting or by spin on the bowling, right? No other way. He should either, you can keep him on the team and reduce the over for him 2 overs or 3 overs rather than 10 overs. Then you know the impact of he controlling the runs that is coming in, or average, or wicket falling, and all those things. The pressure that he makes, another bowler would be able to get it on a fast ball pitch. He won't spin, but he's a technician, so he know the strategy, he know the length to balls to control the run. So when he control, the fast bowlers would be able to get this thing. So that's the impact that a coach needs to measure. He need to stop a player or control the bowling. And the same way, he need to understand whether on a spin pitch or on a humid day, the spin works for a spinner, right? So it's a normal, whether the pitch supported him, the climate supported a spinner or the fast bowler, or the dew, because of the dew, batsmen have played well. These are the things that similar to incrementality, you need to understand whether this is the reason of impact. This is the marketing channel of impact that have been happen. So overall, this framework is something I would say it go as a cycle. So you need to test attribution, you wanted to know how this is being working, and then you need to have marketing mix modeling to understand which channels draw sales for you, and then which channel is impacting. I would say did the marketing actually cause the result is one, and I wanted to put this as a circle. You need to keep on testing and get the results of it.
And one thing, Jadu, we have to think about our budget and the platforms as well. Because sometimes if you just spend on one platform with a very small budget, maybe you don't need to think much of these technical things. You can just continue the platform native metrics. But if you have a higher budget, right? If you have a different product portfolio, right? So with some variety of different products, so then you should think about how can apply these things to your day-to-day measurements. And the one thing, not something directly related to this the things we discussed today, Jatu, but what I understood based on my personal experience and also the accounts I work with, if you look at the ROAS most of the times, right? So as you explained earlier, because of the the view through conversions and also the other different metrics, right? Maybe you can take some wrong decisions based on that. The most important thing is, yes, ROA is important, and also profitability is important as well, because most of us, because platforms, they don't provide us the profitability, right? So what you need to do is you have to create a mechanism to track the profitability, because when you have different products, right, with different prices, maybe you have $2 products and also $200 products as well. Sometimes you have the same shipping cost for both the products, right? So then when you sell $2 products maybe 1,000 times, might not be profitable as much as the $200
Sure.
product, right? So the platforms natively, they won't provide you the profitability metrics. So you have to create something accordingly based on the techniques we discussed today, because that's very important. Yes, Jasu.
Yeah. So, and then once you're talking about the profitability side of it, and the business side of it, and then on this measurement side of it, the biggest mistake many make is question is, which attribution model is best? One of the questions that I used to get. There is no best model. Each answers different questions. So don't say how this MTA, multi-touch attribution, needs to be looked at the way is, say if you wanted to bring new users, you have to look on first at attribution that converted. So that's where you bring new users. And if your management comes and say, I wanted to increase the sales, you need to find out which is your last attribution channel that works well for your conversion. And then you wanted to balance the journey and bring more conversions on retention basis, and all those things is data driven. This is how I used to go on for it. And then it's becoming, I used to say it's not, no more bigger companies looked at Triple M. Nowadays, medium size and small. I mean, if your technology and if you're keen to implement, I would say the companies needs to be looked at it. And then one of the other thing is ROS looks 2000%, which looks good, but would these actually purchase happened anyway? So for that only, this incrementality, as I said, sales were truly incremental, rest is not. So these testing is much needed. The industry right now moving towards in two way, Triple M plus incrementality is, rather than, I would say the industry is moving towards this way, or last click plus platform attribution. As I started with, tracking become harder, privacy is increasing, business want true business impact, wanted to know how being done. Before finishing it off, these are the things, 3 different questions the today's topic will able to give you. We talked about MTA, marketing, multi-touch attribution, marketing mix modeling, incrementality. So these 3, who get the credit, go to multi-touch attribution. What contributed, go to Triple M, marketing mix modeling. What caused the result, incrementality. Then ask, if all 3 answers are different, which one should the CEO trust, right? So that question will clear up a lot of things. So I will leave it for you guys to think louder, how these 3 things would be able to answer a management CEO's questions, right? So today's episode on 3 future measurements, or the measurement pillars moving forward, each company needs to move forward. and we will catch up on another performance spot by APIDM.